Hello and welcome. I'm Brenny Larson, and this webinar is on kitchen feng shui. First, we need to talk about qi because qi is the life force. It is what animates and brings things to life. The more qi that a person has, the more qi that something has, the more powerful its life force and its presence. Now, weak qi in your body can manifest as fatigue, lack of appetite, depression, coldness, sickness, apathy, and you're susceptible to diseases. In life, weak qi can manifest as lack of opportunities, narrow-minded thinking or limited thinking, being unable to make decisions, or constant life challenges and setbacks. Let's talk a little bit about yin and yang, which is movement, okay? Because we're constantly in a cycle of energy moving from, let's say, still to active, from your thoughts to your feelings, up, down, out, in. Yin and yang are two ends of the spectrum that describe how energy or qi moves. So the yin aspect is what we're going to cover first. And the yin moves in. It's inward moving, it slows things down, and it cools things off. Therefore, if you're looking for a more peaceful and relaxed kitchen, we would want to bring yin aspects into it. And, maybe you are not a person who likes to cook. Well, that's fine. What you want to do is make this feel like a retreat then, a quiet place that you can go maybe at the end of the day and relax. Now, yang, or yang as we say in Western society, speeds the qi up and it spirals out and it increases the heat. Let's say you're not a morning person. Well, this would be a great thing for you to do is increase the yang element so you're motivated and you're encouraged. You have a great day. That's how you want to start everything off. And it does encourage eating for those that do have eating disorders. Let's talk for a moment about the week 5. So some conditions in your kitchen will dilute or repel qi. Here are the 5 weak repels or diluting of qi. So first is a large kitchen with little use, a stove that is never or hardly ever used, an open kitchen that has too many doors, dangerous items, or unclean and cluttered. Okay, so the first one, a large kitchen that is not used very much at all. So a large kitchen then needs a large family. It needs lots of entertaining. Avoid things such as granite countertops and marble floors because they lack liveliness. Now, from a feng shui perspective, a large kitchen with only a few people puts too much stress and generates a negative energy. So it's really important to keep a large space very active, especially in your kitchen, because the kitchen is where you cook your food and you nourish your body. This weakens the occupant's life force. If you have a huge kitchen, a very big open kitchen, which we design nowadays in the modern world, and there's only 1 or 2 of you, you're going to find that the life force of you or the people living in the house is diminished. Number 2 is a stove that is not used because it lacks transforming. The stove's job is to transform these raw nutrients into meals, and the meals are going to nourish your body. So a stove not used represents the inability to transform opportunities. This is your potential energy into manifestation. That's your kinetic energy. So if you find yourself in a kitchen and you don't like to cook, what you can do is at least put on some pots of water. You want to turn every burner on and put a pot of water on You could throw some cinnamon in it and make the house smell good. Number 3 is an open kitchen with too many doorways. Why? Because there's nothing to hold the energy in. Its reserves are all depleted. Holding energy is a water quality. Now remember, water in Feng Shui represents money, so I'm going to be wanting to hold on to that energy as much as possible. And how you do that is water needs the earth to contain its essence, all right? Okay, so you're like, well, what does that mean? What that means is you can bring in pots, like the big clay pots, or things that are representing the earth. Number 4 is dangerous items. We want to minimize risk. Now, think of what a kitchen contains: knives, fire, slippery surfaces. If you followed Feng Shui at all, you know we do not like knives out on the counter. We want them put away. For the longest time, they were displayed beautifully in many, many kitchens. And that's going to create arguments. It's going to create chopping away at things, maybe just whittling away at somebody else in the family. And one thing you do not want is you do not want knives next to the stove, because this really represents the greatest potential energy for injury. Number 5 is uncleanliness and clutter. We all know about clutter. We hate hearing about clutter, but everybody has clutter, or 99.999% of the people. So clutter and uncleanliness represents the ripe stage of things. But we also know that clutter and uncleanliness is very low vibrating. So think about this. We want to nourish ourselves to our highest and best good. What do? We have to clear clutter and clear that energy out, that stuck energy out, so that we can bring in this positive, high vibrating energy. So rotting and deterioration, what do? Bugs and flies. Many people have fruit out, but what they do is they let it get past the stage that it should. So dirty and cluttered areas attract death and decay in the Feng Shui world. Now, of course, that was the negative sides of things. Now let's look at the strong 5, which are to attract and strengthen. So number 1, invite life in. Fresh food, visible and accessible. Cleanliness, water supply, and kitchen design. Okay, number 1, invite life in, such as living entities. This will bring in the positive chi, the positive energy for you. So activity, if you got kids, get them in the kitchen. Plants are alive. Of course, remember, we want plants to grow up. We don't want them hanging down. That's pulling the energy down. Pets, I'm not so much into that as a Feng Shui cure to bring into the kitchen, but it is listed as one of the things that you could do to enliven the area. 2 is fresh food, visible and accessible. What does that mean? Have a beautiful platter of fruit available. This fresh food, when it's within view, that's your potential nourishment, and your subconscious sends this message to your brain that you are abundant. When I was very poor, I would put rice and beans and things in mason jars and put those where I could see them on my cupboard, just a few of them, and I felt rich because I could cook, I could eat, and that's what this is all about. Fresh food is the best. Cleanliness and order. Chinese believe dirty and cluttered areas invite dark and evil spirits, and this causes illness and disease. We know that stagnant qi weakens your immune system. And remember, we're talking about the kitchen here. This is where you're supposed to get health and nourishment in your body, to start your day off, when you come home at night, to relax and eat a good meal. We're not meant to sit in front of a TV or stand and eat. We're meant to sit down, relax, and really enjoy this nourishing food. And once again, you know, the more organic, the closer to home, the better off you're going to be. The stove is the most important area in the kitchen, so make sure to keep it clean. In Feng Shui, we will tell you, we want your stove clean. Turn the burners on every day. And if you can put something that's reflective behind the burners, like you can go to a craft shop and get some of that metal that reflects, it doubles your burners, it doubles your wealth. Then you definitely want to have them clean. Okay, water supply. Clean water is the basis for life. You have to have clean water. For our bodies are 80% water. We also like fixing items. If you have broken items, such as a dripping faucet, first your money is dripping away, running away, flowing away, but also the universe is going, well, how can I give you more resources if you don't take care of what you have? So come from that standpoint. Everything needs to be working. And in Feng Shui, I can go through lights and electrical and the front door, it's sticking, the handles, the windows. We want everything working. And if you're trying to sell your house, what do people do? They wait till they're ready to leave and then they fix their house up. They've lived in a house that they were okay with, but then they make it beautiful for someone else to move in. I have never understood that. And number 5, a kitchen that gets used. This is going to attract positive chi. It's called the heart of the home. It's a gathering place. Your body and kitchen require exercise to keep positive well-being. We already talked about if you don't cook, how you can just put a pot of water on the stove, but make the space inviting and the room used. Like I said, put some music on, make it a little reading area. You want the energy to be super fantabulous when it comes to your kitchen. Now, Zhang Wen Yi is communication from heaven to earth. And I'm going to read you a little bit of story so you understand this. So, to facilitate the harmony between heaven, earth, and humanity, now we believe there's 3 lucks in Chinese Feng Shui: heaven luck, man luck, and earth luck. But the Chinese believe that there was a God who communicated between heaven and humans regarding the kitchen. And his name was Zhao Wang Yi. His job was to make these annual reports to heaven as to whether or not the humans that were living in the house were obeying the divine laws. If a household was obedient, then abundance was ensured and there was more than enough to eat. And now remember, food was very scarce in China, and abundance was often equated to food, because if you can eat, you're wealthy. If heaven's laws were not obeyed, then the inhabitants, they would not be assured to have food to eat or that they could pay for things. Many Feng Shui rituals surround the stove and the kitchen, and these can all be traced back 4,000 or 6,000 years. Now, modern society, we remember all that cultures must eat to survive, but food and its environment in which we prepare it and eat it is the strongest universal abundance that there is. This is just a short little training to give you an idea on just a few things to do with Feng Shui. And the kitchen is so important. If you like this kind of training, first we want to set our intention. So in Feng Shui, it's really important. We call it the 3 secrets of reinforcement, but one of the things is intention. The first thing you need to do is decide. Decide, what do you want? That's where the biggest problem comes from when I talk to people. They know what they don't want. Well, that's a really good starting place to figure out what you do want. If I ask someone, what do you want in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? They really don't have anything to say except, I don't want to be in debt. I didn't ask what you don't want. the universe hears that all the time. Let's change that thought process and be specific on what you want. And then allow the universe to bring it to you in any way it possibly can. Once again, people may get the intention right, but then they're telling the universe how they expect the universe to bring it to them. I don't care how the universe delivers all the blessings and abundance to me. You can send it randomly. It's cool. I'm not going to tell them how to bring it to me because I'm usually wrong. And then you want to visualize and feel it manifesting. Using intention means that you're consciously deciding on what you want in life, and then you're setting out to create it. And when you put your emotions into it, you focus on it. The reason people use vision boards or dream boards is because it's in front of them all the time. You're sitting in a vision board in your house, in your office. So take a look around you, and what is it saying? Is it describing what your intention is? Is it setting the energy for what you want? And if not, then you know you need to change it. So if you like this type of training and you want more free training, one of them that I love is the Color to Change Energy. It's all about color and how it impacts your health and your energy. And in that training, there's 3 color systems I discussed. There's a lot more color systems than that. But it's at bit.ly/Dream Space Program. If you go there, you'll be able to watch more free training on this. And thank you for your time.